Well, hello. Hello. We are, I think we are live. And I hope this keeps working. Um, and wait. This is something that I have not done in quite a while, so bear with me as I get used to this again. I hope you're all having a great day. Thanks for joining. There's now 6 people. Hi, everyone. I'm doing this with my webcam because it's a hassle to get a camera set up here. So I hope the quality of my face is all right, but it's about the music, of course. So what I will be doing today is working on Halve. So this session, which is well, stupidly long, that's one thing, is my sketching session for the first chapter of the game, which is the disaster chapter. Hi, Samantha. Hey, nice to see you here. Welcome. And I have already written a lot of music for this chapter, which actually, if we look at it, this whole region is all sketch. There we go. Autosaving. Autosaving might take a while every time because this is a session of 26 minutes. There we go. So this is all sketch. This is all stuff that I have written that's already in the current version of the game. However, my predicament is I like parts of it. No, I like it. However, I don't like how it is working at the moment. So what we have right now is loops that consists of 3 sections. I always call them like A, B, and C. And they can be played in a random order. So it's either ABC or it's AC or it's, I think it can be ACB as well. Let me play you one of those first, and then I'll get into what bothers me about them. I have to mute some stuff because this is working with different layers. Okay, there we go. So this is loop 1A. Which I like. However, when we are in the game and we have a longer section where this loop, whether it's ABC or AC, and is playing, you can always, it's very jarringly obvious, to me at least, when we get back to the start of this section, even though I have a setup where one time I have 3 melodic layers. So one is with the piano, one is with flutes. So another version would be this. So it's the same melody, but now it's in the flutes instead of the piano. However, if you listen to this, like this little swell that comes in between, you hear that every time. So it's just not working the way that I want it to. So what I'm going to do today is go all the way to the end, right here, and see if I can take this material and make it a little bit more ambient, looping, to make it less jarringly repetitive. At least that's what it is to me, and you might not agree, which is very kind of you. But yeah, I want this to be really, really good. So I am very critical of myself, and therefore I want to change it. Let me know as well, by the way, if there's anything wrong with like audio volumes or balance with my voice in Cubase or anything you cannot hear, then I can change those things. I'm getting set up here. This is the first time in a hot while that I've streamed. So bear with me if anything goes not as smoothly as I would like. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being in chat. Aridas, one of our main devs, also said he might be joining us for a bit today. So maybe if he's here, he will peek out and say hi. So if you have any questions about Halve's development, he may be here to answer some questions. So that being said, let's dive in. So one thing that we do know for certain is that we start out with this first section that I just played, but then just with solo piano. That's something that I will know will happen because it's something that we all really like. So this is just the piano melodic layer of what I was just playing. So this is already in place, and I'm just gonna start working from here. So this is very simple, a variation on the main theme. And the way how this the key works in this chapter is this is like the chord we always come back to, which is just a very open A major chord, sorry. But I keep alternating it with very dissonant chords like this. And then going back to... So it's sort of a... It's D melodic minor, but then we start on A as the first note. So there's also sometimes a B section where, so we have had, and then for the B section, I start here to make use of this D minor tonality. So that's the kind of key we're working in. And to reinforce this A majoriness, that makes sense, what I like to do is have these basses doing a, where is it? Like a harmonic glissando, which is a sound that I really like. So what I'm going to start with is just put this down, let this come in very quietly, and see what we put on top of that. And this, I'm holding the pedal now. Okay, I'm just going to remove this pedal here. This started too loud. There we go. Get rid of this. Ooh, there we go. Very high level composing here. Just this is one out. Wee, make it stick. And then I'm gonna see if there's some soundscapes here because there is stuff that I really like. Will this live stream be saved? Yes, I have. It should be available on YouTube when we are done, so you can also watch this back later. And in the end, it's like a Mixolydian flat 6. Is it? So we have Mixolydian. It's sort of a... I'm not sure. It's really the... This jump is a bit weird. It's... You could call it a Phrygian sharp 3. That makes sense. I believe it's... with the modes, if you have a mode that is... And it starts on A, you put hyper in front of it. So it's like hyper melodic minor, in a way. Okay, get back to some of these textures here. For now, I'm just going to move them over and see what happens. And then we can dive into it later. So this was my background, little cello harmonic. Then we had this basses thing, but that's already there. And these bells, but I can put those back in. And the drums, yeah, we'll see. So for now, I'm just gonna move some stuff over and then dive in. And this, you can hear that it's stopping now. And I just want this to fade out a bit more naturally. Hey, Rinke, thanks for jumping in. You should be composing yourself. Well, yeah, that's... I'm sorry, mate. But thanks for stopping by. I hope you'll have a great session yourself later. Greetings, everyone. Hi, you got a good template. Thanks. This is my main template, and this is also what happens when, you know, I have a very long session. At some point, I get duplicates of duplicates, and subgroups within subgroups and 6 FX tracks that I just copy and move over. There's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 harp sustains. So yeah, it starts with the template, and then at some point, especially when I'm just trying out ideas and once, so for example here I have the effects set up in a lot of different ways, and everything has black hole, and one has an EQ and one doesn't. So I first want to make this transition a little bit smoother, going from this first part into other gameplay. I keep forgetting to add 2 very specific niche instruments to my template. Yeah, that's also what happens to me a lot. I have a lot of stuff that's not in there yet. Wait. I get... Okay, there I already want to start something. And I believe this is like a B-flat major to B-flat minor. So there's kind of an overlap between the ends of this first little statement we have into what's happening afterward. And my main goal is basically to take those loops that I wrote earlier and just make them more ambient, where those statements that I already have at some point can shine in there rather than repeat all the time. And what I would like to try is this organ, which I'm using in other parts as well, which is one of those niche instruments that I happened to add specifically for this chapter. So we were on maybe that could work. Let's just try it out. It's a bit loud. Okay, that ending was a bit off, but I liked this start. This is now just happening too quickly, this harp thing. So let's fix that. The organ sounds gorgeous. Thanks, that's from Metropolis Arc 1 or 2. This is 2 probably, because it has soft stuff. Right. So now I have something to work with, which is nice. This is too early. That comes from this little tritone action. Let me just see what happens if I take that and move everything just by 1 bar. Just give it a little bit more space. But then this also needs to move later. Wait. Yeah, we are here. And however nice the organ is, it is too loud. So let me fix that real quick. Oh, wait. You're over here writing fire original music, and I'm just remixing an existing song. Also, a lot of merit to that. No, no shame at all. Sounding great though, thanks. This is also very much still arrangement at this point, what I'm doing, of earlier stuff. Like arranging this organ that's still a bit too loud, in my opinion. So let's... already heard this note before. Wait. That feels like it's repeating. Let me patch this back up. Yeah, there we go. It's the same here. So maybe just back to C sharp. And then E. Let's see, wait. That was a weird Okay, I'm not gonna use that. That sounds very much out of tune. No matter how much I love Cinematic Studio Series, sometimes there, especially in the violas for some reason, things like this happen. Which doesn't sound so nice, in my opinion. But here what I'm doing with the organ is reinforcing this idea of having this like a major movement in those harmonic glissandi, which are doing basically that, and then putting a D minor chord on top of it. So here we have this harp outlining like A major stuff, this C sharp here, and then the organ underneath going hello D minor, or here it does do. Then this is too early. Also need some more breathing room over here. Maybe. So I'm just stretching out this material I originally had to not have it repeat all of the time. Oh, what happened? I don't know. I'm very happy this function exists because I really like this. Retrospective record is your friend. However, this was too dry, and let's put this on legato. Oh, is this, yeah. Still everything in volume wise? Yeah, there we go. Just some very eerie, maybe. Do I have this anywhere else? Wait, let me. One thing I've been doing a lot in this this chapter is just doing this. Just add like the biggest reverb in the world. What happens if I double this in non-vibrato violins? Okay, it's too loud. There we go. Oh, this is already super soft. Still too loud. I'm one of those people who uses both expression and modulation at the same time, exactly for reasons like this. Alright, since this is octave higher, what if I like how they blend? Oh, However, maybe some separation where it really is like from nothing back to nothing. And so they come in and out. This also needs to. I want this to be very subtle. Wait, I think. Okay, this is what happens when I try out things. I just duplicate the track because I'm thinking I want to have, of course, black hole on this. However, I don't want it on everything. So what happens? I make a duplicate track, and now it has black hole. And this is how I end up with this many tracks of one instrument. All right, there we go. Okay, now it's blending with this is now too loud. I do like it, and it also adds to this desolate feeling that we want in this chapter. It's auto saving, so that means time for a sip. All right. And this is a layer then that we can have separately, for example, to try things out with. Okay, so I had this way down. All right, let's see what we have. Hi, Ridas is here. Welcome. You can provide immediate feedback on what you're hearing. Let's go. Right, then maybe something else can happen there. I'm sort of thinking maybe we don't need the first one. What I was thinking here, because I still want to make room for those statements that I mentioned earlier, like this one, because I do like them. It can be melodic. It just shouldn't repeat the way it is repeating right now. Let's see. So this, what was this again? Oh, wait, let's get the right instruments. Which is the main theme, but then very sad. Oh, I hate this click, but I need it. Do I need it? Let's see. This makes no sense what I'm doing. All right, wait, let's see what's happening here. Because this, I just played this in on a whim, and I could still change this. Daniel, love the percussion sound. Thanks. It's, let's check a bit later what it is. I do also, wait, oh, what is happening here? Oh yeah. So I like these chords. Here we're going back to A major, or 736. So on 736, maybe there, what's happening? Yeah, we also have an A major here. So that's kind of our home key. Yeah, that percussion is like a pre-recorded roll from, what library is this? East-West Storm Drum 3. And I really like them. However, as I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, each time we hear this now, it's coming back, you hear this little percussion roll, and then you start really noticing how the piece is looping. And this is what I'm trying to remedy with what I'm doing today. And maybe what I write today will be great, and maybe it won't be. I'm gonna find out. So here maybe we have yeah, so here we are moving to B flat because that's what happened in the loop. However, if we're bringing this A chord back there, maybe we move to... This piano is working, right? Yeah, okay, great. Sorry, random thought. And this is one thing that I can then move into the flutes and the violas as well. So we still have this variety of instruments we can use that we're already using at the moment. Is my... Yes, that is still going on. Is my cello harmonic still going on? No, this has stopped. That's what I was thinking. I'm gonna do more with this later. For now, it's just providing a bed that I can build on. Thanks all. Glad you like it so far. This is really still experimentation what I'm doing. Maybe, wait, where are these notes? So this is the cello. Okay, there. Something needs to change in these chords. Wait, what is happening again? Oh wait, I have it here. There we go. Let me get the right instrument. I would like that to linger just for a little bit. And then go back to A. And the harp is ruining it. No offense, harp. This is D minor. And then B flat. But I want to go there later. So this needs to move. Wait. I can... So this is D minor. When are we going to D minor? Over there. Maybe. The melody doesn't need to follow. So we have now... Then it goes back. And we can stay here for a bit. Textures, textures, textures. Then go back. So it doesn't need to follow the melody necessarily. That's not a bad shout. So, but how are we going to... can go. This needs to be here. No, this is weird. And so you can go later. Wait, let me do that like this again. You go with this D minor. There we go. All right. So what do we have on the... So this is very dissonant, which I like. But then it needs to resolve. What happens here? E. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. You can stay for a bit longer, or I re-record you. Which note is this? Oh, auto-saving. I hope everyone is doing fine this Friday evening. Thank you for joining me. I hope this is in any way insightful into my writing process. It's a little bit chaotic at the moment, I'll admit. Because I'm sort of figuring it out as I go. So this I really liked, and I'm gonna put it back in. Okay, I want something to happen there. Do I like this? Aridas, do you like it? Here we can definitely land on A. Yeah, for sure. Then when we talk about different layers, I'm just thinking of this right now. We have, in the original one, if we go back, we have a bass layer, and then it's either flute melodies or piano melody, or even viola, but maybe this is old stuff. Yeah, this is old stuff. We're not using that. So I can do the same thing. Have one layer of piano, and one layer of flutes, but then I don't want them to play the same thing. So there's even more variety. And we could even have them like enter in and out in different points. So here, what made me think of this was there's a little gap here where I think it would be very nice if we have some kind of distant flute thing going on. Oh, that was the wrong note. And you notice there's no piano because I muted it, and these will then be separate. I wanted to play an F here initially. Ooh. Which I still like, but then there. And what happens underneath? Let me try. Because you also have the bass flutes. Oh wait, this. Curious to know whether you're doing the process of implementing the music in Fmod. Yes, I am. We're actually using Wise, but I'm also doing the implementation there. I'm not gonna do that today though, because that involves a little bit too much hassle in moving between different softwares. But that's what the next devlog video will be about Wise and the implementation process there and how I actually learned how to use it. What do we have? Is that a Watford FC scarf in the background? Yes, it is. I went to a game there once when I was in London for a conference. Wait. No. I like the D, but wait. I need another voice. So let's do this. And then we go. Yeah, there I want the G. And then here a C sharp. Oh, hang on. Now I like it. But this. No, that's not gonna work. What do we have? And if you're saying this is very dissonant, yes, that's the idea. Maybe if this just follows the top voice. So here it's octave, 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 and then that's better. But now this chord is very, very sudden, especially in the bass voices. So let's just reduce those a little bit. Less of that crescendo there. Then we have something is off. It's the F sharp. And then we have We're back in A. Okay, let's see if this works together. Oh man, this is way too sudden. Why is that? It's because of this one. That's already better. Just see what happens if we do it like this. And you guys... Where did... I thought I just removed that. Oh well. Oh wait. This is going the wrong way. This is F natural, B natural. Yeah. Going to... Yeah, this is right. All right. And here, same problem. Just keep it like that for a little bit. So the idea is we have, at some point, we have the piano voice playing, and maybe later when it returns, we have the flutes playing. So there's a little bit of variation, and I want to make sure that this loop doesn't sound very loopy. As I said at the beginning, for those of you who weren't there, I'm reworking this because the loops sound way too loopy. You can pinpoint exactly when they start again. This is something that I'm trying to remedy. Do we come from this? Let's see what it sounds like if we have the flute layer. So, piano's gone. I don't hate that. I only didn't like this last resolution. What do you guys think? Like, this is way too much major all of the ends. Kind of works. I agree. It's just this one that doesn't work. Maybe we need to keep it more open. Or we keep it very dissonant. Where do we come from? It's already better, because this is what I had initially. But then without this weird little bump in dynamics. Right, one thing I want to fix is the high stuff. I like these notes, but they feel very isolated. So it feels like it's just mid-low flutes, mid-low harp, some harmonic glissandi, and then there's this high note on top. Like, it feels very much like in the low hand, there's a lot of stuff happening, and then there's a big gap, and then we have these high notes. There we can... I got distracted again. Here we can... where is it? try putting this in there so it doesn't get lost. And tweak it a little bit. And I also want this to come along. Bloop. There we go. So a little bit of an extra note so it doesn't finish definitively, but it kind of leaves it hanging on this tritone. And then there's something in the main layer can pick it up again, which is indeed the harp and this last note. And you can come back. This is still very much throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. There was something off with that. And it had to do with this, which was really like... So here we went to... Oh, this was the ending, wait. Something else needs to change there. Here we're D minor. I think it's the organ. Yes, it is. Yeah, this is what is at least off. Probably more, but this is a start. It's already better. All right. Let me just... This, I feel horrible for doing it like this, but this is just to... So we have the texture going on, and I'll tweak it later. There we go. And let's get back to this mid-register problem. For example, this is a sound I'm using in between at times. Or... No, not this one. Because what I had in the original loop was also some of these bells. And this bass flute effect. So let's try to get some of that stuff back. To fill it out a little bit more. I think I already moved the bass flute. Yes, I did. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. There we go. And I would like to start those bells already during the ending of this piano thing that comes before. maybe higher. So they are on different tracks because they have different delays. And here I think we can stay in D minor a little bit longer. Because this is immediately going to B flat. So let's again. Oh, autosave. All right, all right, all right. There we go. Move this over. Let's mute these for just for now. And then here. There we go to B flat. But there's weird gaps now that I still need to fill with different things and textures to make this more interesting than just this these organ chords that we have going on. But that's a longer term thing. Let's for now get this these chord changes right, which I will also, not to go completely crazy, try and fill out in my markers. Where it's just all A. From then we have, yeah, D minor. Was it there? Wait. Immediately forgot. No, here. Oh. D minor. Then back to A. Then here we have this kind of B diminished. Then here we have A again. This has a weird gap. We'll tackle that later. And then here we go to okay. This I was just playing in. I have this here already. Where is it? There we have it. This is what I wanted there. So it's on the Okay, I don't like what's happening here. Maybe that's just this A that's weird. No, this is the one that's weird. That's better. I need, I have been mentioning this 20 times already, something in the mid register. And I was just now thinking some sort of tremolo. Not all the time, just sometimes coming in and out. Not like that. And not with those. I really like this one actually, which is from Metropolis Arc. Then they have this slow tremolo, which I always really like. Let's get the flex in there. There we go. D minor. And then there we go. That was better already. Hi Ventana, thanks for joining. John, it sounds so good. I was wondering what's the intention behind this piece in the game? Is it meant for a specific type of scene or moment? Yes, this is for the first chapter. So we have the disaster chapter, it's called. So we just had the cutscene in the first level, which are super, super desolate. And in this entire chapter, we want to have this feeling of loneliness and brokenness. So the game is about one spirit that gets broken up into two spirits, and they want to get back together in the end. And in this first chapter, this breaking up has just occurred. So what we try to do with this music is to really tap into this isolated feeling. So also if we get the main theme involved. So the main theme is... So we're not playing that in full. It's just at some points you might hear, for example, in this, which is the same sort of figure instead of, but it kind of reminds us of it. But we're never playing it in full in that way. And in terms of the sound of it, yeah, it's very bare bones, eerie. So I'm writing very atmospheric stuff at the moment, which is very hard to grasp in a way. I always find it easier if I just have, I can write a very symphonic or melodic piece or whatever, where I know exactly, oh, I can do 4 bars of this and then 12 bars of that, and then we'll see what happens. But here it's really mostly about trying to create a lot with a little. So the means are, what we're trying to achieve is loneliness, very sparse, but then with how little notes you use, they kind of all have to count in a way. So what I'm doing now, I'm not guaranteeing that this all will end up in the game. I'm just trying things out, and at some point interactions happen that inspire me, and they then trigger the next step or the next idea. So I might go back and delete some things later. I hope that all makes sense. I hope that's interesting for you as well to watch in a way. I'm very happy that you are here. That's for sure. And I hope that answers your question. And I hope you can also hear it back in the music in a way. So here, for example, because I was just working on those, yes, these ones. So here I might try one of those as well. Okay, I'm not sure if this is staying, but this doesn't solve my problem, but it's does tell me that this is where there is a problem, because this fills out this mid thing that I've been mentioning quite nicely, in my opinion. Wait, it's very soft here. In a way, this high harmonic now feels more connected to everything else that's happening. But maybe this just needs to be softer still. Let's try that. Can I just... Yeah, I can. Where are we? Here we are. Just put it down, see what happens. So there's one moment where I think I can have some sort of extra thing just coming in and out real quick. What did I use for those moments before? Just to see if there's some info. Yeah, wait. I have it here. Bass flute. X. What is this doing? Ah, yes. Nice. It's a multiphonic. I love those, but it's very soft. So, don't be shy. I'm using effects like this a lot. Maybe here it's... This was centered on A, but I wanted it to go to G then. Wait, it's... Yeah, I'd like that. Is this the same one? No. Oh, wrong octave. Wait, let me try it again. I grew up playing games on a C64 and the tunes were so catchy I'd find it hard to compose more cinematic, emotion-driven score like today's, where composers have to bring meaning to the emotion. Yeah, it's... I'm not sure if I understand what you mean. You mean like with the atmospheric thing I just talked about? Or... I find it hard to write more cinematic, emotion-driven scores. Yeah, on the one hand, that's also the problem I've been facing with this, I think. Because on the one hand, what I did initially, let's just listen back to it once more, did I think hit the emotion. However, then the thing arises, you're writing for a game. So at some point, it's gonna loop. And the way that it looped right... And when you have a very big emotional... or any kind of emotional statement, doesn't necessarily have to be big. When you keep hearing it, at some point it kind of loses its impact. So if I have this again, it's like film music these days rather than great tunes driving the arcade. Yeah, I get what you mean now. So here it's still quite atmospheric, but this melody, which I think captures the essence of the chapter really well, but at some point when you keep hearing it back, it loses that emotional meaning to it in the way that I wrote it. Has nothing to do with how game music is used. That is just how I did it in this particular one. So what I'm trying to do with this one is to create more space musically. So when we hear these things, they have more impact because they are sparser. We don't hear them all the time. But that means that it needs to be a bit more ambient, and that's hard. Alright, what were we doing? Oh yeah, I was working on these multiphonics here. Here, let's... Yeah, this is... Is there anything on here? No. So I can just use this and... Wait. There we go. Now it has the same effect. And I want this to be a G. That sounded rough. Gonna head out. I hope this goes well. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. I hope you have a great weekend. Easter weekend. Needs to be softer, maybe shorter as well. So it's just a little bit of coming in and going out. Wait, then now it's very soft. Let's see how those work together. Timing wise, it's good, but I want it to be more distant. So it's really just like a little echo of this chord. And let's try it with the flutes now instead of the piano. Because remember, we will be alternating those. I think that works. Now to this D minor part. Then B flats. We don't need to go to that C sharp there. Maybe later though. Can linger a bit on B flats. Let's try that out. Yes. All right. Let's keep working a bit on those string tremolos. Oh wait. There we go. This needs to start earlier. Creating slow ambient music is harder than rhythmic and active music for me because I can't help but wanting to fill the empty gaps instead of leaving space. Any advice for that, please? Yes, well, I have the exact same problem. So here, that's what I'm trying to do here. Trying to, what I mentioned earlier, like with very little means, try to make a lot of impact, which I agree is very hard. And my advice, I don't know. I wouldn't be. That's what also what I'm trying to do here. I think it's trying to. I always say I throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And usually I find that when I try and write this type of music, at some point there's some sort of interaction happening between two things that I may not have intended to interact that way, which is then like, oh wait, hey, this sounds great. Let's try and see if I can expand on this. And that's usually where the good ideas happen. So I'm just trying things with stuff that I've done before, stuff that I think might work, like this organ thing. I had it in the background in some parts, but I didn't feature it that much. So I thought, now, okay, let's just try it and we'll see what happens. And the way how it interacts with other things I'm trying is what in the end drives the piece forward. So it might be that when I close the stream and I come back at this in sometime next week, I listen back and it's like, oh, this is horrible, and I will throw it all away. Or I might have just like very small parts of it and then build around it in a new way around those small parts. But it's just really trying out different things. While you must avoid staying static, you also shouldn't draw too much attention to the changes. I really like the background effects. They all feel very orchestral rather than synth heavy. Thanks. Yeah, that's something I've been trying in this chapter, to have like where it feels like it's very synthy, but it's actually just orchestral effects. And also I have this one synth that I am using at some point in this chapter, which is not that one. It's this one, I believe. Oh no, wait, sorry, it's this. Which is still like based, you can hear the strings in here still. But it's very like avant-garde, scratching on the strings in a way. But yeah, so I don't really have advice on how to go about it, because I'm trying to go about it at the moment, and I also find it very hard. Frozen strings, like, yeah, exactly. Okay. I really liked the mid strings here now for some reason, and it sparked this because they're coming kind of sort of flowing in and out, and I want something else to then take over after those. Maybe I haven't. Yes, but then with these, and very subtly, like. And because just for the sake of it, let's try it. Let's try this. This is very soft, by the way, so it's also. So I need to hit it quite hard. All right, let's. Okay, wait, I can't hear it now because of this stupid click. Sorry about that. Here we go again. Wait. I only heard it from like here, including like the, what is it? Some chair noise. Maybe if I put it higher. Oh, wait. Yep. Just go up, please. Thank you. When you transition into silence, do you leave a subtle drone or sublayer underneath, or do you prefer absolute silence? That kind of depends on where in the chapter we are. In this case, I think I would like to leave something lingering there. But there are parts where we completely cut out the music. But for here, I would love there to be always something. needs to go down. Okay, I like this. However, I want it to be more like ethereal in a way. So let me just see if I can tweak some things here. Up. Maybe because it's... Wait, I have an idea. Let's see what this does. Usually when I want something ethereal, I try this. That's better. And then here it fades out on this note. And I would like it to come from D minor here. Oh wait. No, wait, I did want it. So we go from there. And we come from there. And the delay also takes care of giving it a nice ending. Right? I do not hate this. I do not hate this. Small movements with echoes really create the atmosphere. Yeah, definitely. And this Echo Boy preset I have, I mostly use it for woodwinds. But it can also really work well on other stuff that you want more ethereal. Let me just mute these. I think that does precisely enough. What do you think? I really like that, but there's a gap here now, and this is weird. Like this gap is weird. Maybe you need to linger longer. And that, wait, what if we put you there? There, exactly. so far, so good. So far, so good. Okay, so the one part I do not like right now is this little bit here from this B diminished until the D minor. Maybe it is a solution. No, we just had that. I want to say that it's as simple as, but it's never that simple. Wait, what is this? Oh yeah, I'm using this as some bridges. I remember something. No. I am using this. Nah, no. Perhaps bell in C sharp and E on that gap. Let's see. Oh, we have the bells. Of course, you're right. I keep forgetting about these. How about... It's a start. It's a start. It's a start for sure. Thanks for that, because I forgot. Maybe... But then it becomes very melodic all of a sudden, and I don't want that. If I would use that viola thing. Okay, these effectively only come in here, which is fine. So we can use them earlier as well. So maybe mid-string tremolos here, fade out. Then we have, sorry, the D minor that hits, and then from here, boom, new ones. So this will come in here. Yes, so we have these. I have some space here to use these guys. There we go. And we have, where? There you are. And I already want to set up the A chord there. So let's just... I think that worked. I would like this note to be in those high strings. There are just now, when I was listening to that, I completely forgot I was streaming for 2 seconds. Sorry. That's what happens when you get in the zone a little bit. Wait, this is too far back. Maybe wait. Oh. So this needs to continue on a little bit longer. But we also need it here. So let's just... oh wait, of course. We copy these notes, and then here we say this one as well, right? Yes. Paste at original location. And then you needs to be legato off as well. Just like there we go. Oh wait, I think all of them need this. There we go. Let's see you. What's the piano plugin? This is Una Corda. This is in Complete, I believe. This is a Native Instruments piano. Oh wait, and now I forgot to listen. We are definitely getting somewhere. How long is this part now? 1 minute something. 1 minute something. Is Arida still here? Do you plan to transition into other dynamics within this same track? So for this one, in this part of the level, it is a longer section. And I want to try and see if I can still use some of these statements that I have here. Here. To still have them come in at moments, but use this, what we're doing right now, as sort of something to alternate it with, so it's not always going back to the same stuff. Sorry for distracting, all good. It sounds amazing, especially with the eerie chords. I use Noir and the Giant together. Oh yeah, I also layer especially the Giants sometimes. It works really well. So this stuff, I also still want to have at moments. Also this, for example. But the way how it was set up now, this got too repetitive. So what I'm doing right now is sort of forming a backdrop in a way where these statements can come in, and then we go back to the very atmospheric stuff. So I also want to try and see if this idea of the flutes and the piano alternating is something that I already mentioned, but also maybe at some point we don't hear these tremolos, or at some point we only hear like the very atmospheric stuff without the harp chords. So there's always something changing, and we also still can always go back to these shorter statements that I already wrote earlier. But this way we have more of an ambient full track instead of a bunch of very short pieces that maybe in the structure get shuffled around, but in the end will still be very repetitive. I hope that makes sense. What's the tempo? The tempo is 0. Well, yeah, it's sort of. No, the tempo is quarter note is 75, but we're in a 5/8 bar. So it's actually, they count the 8s as like 150. So this is the click, which is why I always turn it off, because it bothers me. But we're still somewhat on the grid. Also, when you look at the delays in these bells, for example, they're dun 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 bam 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 dun 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 dun. But I also try to fluctuate in not have it 3+2 all the time, but also sometimes 2+3, or just 5, 1 bar. But it is all in the end fixed to a grid. But it's very, very open. Sounds like a windy environment. You really are exceptionally good at what you do. Thank you very much. I hope you don't mind my questions non-stop, but do you have a template for your plugins? What's the strings? So yeah, this started, I went over this already earlier, but I'll touch upon it again very briefly. This started, only Napoleon can navigate this template. Yeah, so it's, this started out with my regular template, but then at points I duplicate tracks because I want to try different effects on them, or I want to try, like for example here, I want to have this one fade in and out, but while this is fading out, I want from the same instrument a different note to fade in and then go out, so I just duplicate those tracks. And then at some point they also have like, oh, here I want to have a bunch of tracks that are always playing together. So when I export them, I just solo only that group here in the bottom, which also has their individual... wait, I have an example of this. I should have an example of this. Oh, here, for example, this... here, this is the bunch of tracks that I can export just like this. Because the main part of the loop sounds like this. But then at some points when I want to have like a more emotional part, or it needs to be a little bit more epic, in Wise I say, oh, open up this layer, which I called the all layer, because it's... So I can easily put those in a single folder, hit mute when I want to export everything else, and hit solo when I export just this part. But that makes the template or the session a mess that only Napoleon can navigate. Yes, I'm very sorry if it hurts your eyes. It also does so to mine, if I'm being honest. Is this keyboard app reliable for OBS? You mean the one that's on screen? I use Classroom Maestro, and it works pretty well. I hope it is also helps during this stream to have the notes in there as well that I'm playing. And the strings are Cinematic Studio strings. And I'm also using a lot of Metropolis Arc 1 and 2. For example, these mid strings tremolos, they come from Metropolis Arc. And I really like these instead of, because they also have like a slower tremolo, which I just adore. We were working on this section. I hope everyone is doing all right and you find this insightful or interesting or whatever. I'm having fun. I'm also, well, I'm also, what's the right word for it? Very much outside of my comfort zone, so bear with me. I need to bring back the organ here. So we have chords. D minor. Then at some point it's B flat. It's probably here. Yes. So my organ. Where are we coming from? That would work. So we are going to extend. Oh, wait. Extend these, and then I can just leave those top notes for now, just like this. Okay, velocity has no impact, so I'm learning so much. I also use Metro 1 and CSS, but I could never make them sound this magical. Join your Discord, you easily pass Hans. Well, now it's that I appreciate the compliment, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Thanks for your kind words, though. I don't have a Discord, by the way. I am thinking of making one in the near future. How much RAM should a template take? Asking because I tried assembling one a few days ago, but after making just the string section, I already used 11 gigs. There were way more things to set up. Yeah, so RAM is a big thing. I think I have 64 gigs. I'm not saying you should get 64. 32 will also get you very far. A couple of things that help is using disabled tracks like this. So when I load the template, nothing is loaded. it's all disabled, and I have a short key where it says, okay, bring this up, and then now it's loaded. So now I can use it, and you need to purge all your samples. So it's when you load the instruments, the samples are not directly loaded into your memory, but it only loads the samples that you are actually using into the memory. That also helps. Oh, I guess it joined Halve's Discord. Oh yeah, then that's the one. You're very welcome in Halve's Discord as well. I have a video idea that I want to make that with which I want to sort of launch a Discord as well. But that might take a little bit of time. I really like the idea though, and I'm not going to spoil it in this video. But that would be a great way to kind of kickstart a personal Discord server. And Spitfire Symphonic Orchestra. Oh, for the template. Yeah, I'm not sure how much RAM they take, but I do know. I think Spitfire also has a purge function. They should have. They know what they're doing, so they'll probably have it. Just getting myself a little bit back into what we were doing. Okay. I like where it's going. And I hope you do as well. And here we want the harp back. I'm just for ease of it going to keep the same module data. I don't want this note, but I like this. This B needs to come earlier. This is just screaming to go back to A. Well, wait. Like, if I would have... Wait. And it's here, right? Yeah. Oh, that sweet, sweet, sweet resolution. Are we gonna provide it, though? That's a question. Are we going to provide it? All right. Let me see. How long is this? If we start it here. Because this could potentially be where it overlaps to loop. So we would be sitting on, let's say it starts here. Wait, my brain is turned off. And the end of it would then be somewhere around here. I just want to know how long this is. So, basic math. It's 1 minute and 10 seconds, which is still a little short. But I am thinking at some point we want to make room for these earlier statements to come back. So what I will do is try that out very, very, very rudimentary. Is this my arranger track? Yes, it is. So we have A, B, and C. And we're gonna make, there we go, J. So we're gonna make, how does this work again? Create new chain. So we have J. Yes, thank you very much. That is J indeed. And then we're gonna go to A. And we're gonna just, it should follow this now, right? I barely use this. This transition is gonna be very jarring, but we're gonna try it out. So this is too empty, and then all right. With some tweaks, I think that can work. Oh, autosave. I think that can work. What do you think? It needs some tweaks, but it can work. Yeah, it's the arranger train. It's getting late. It's great. So, for example, here I tried out what does it sound like if we have the different sections of loop A in a different order. So let's just move on. So you can try out your loops in a way. You can also repeat them a couple of times. So it's great. It's great for trying out things like this. Let's go back. So let's figure out this ending. I really like how this harp is sounding. See what I did here? This is the main theme. You should most definitely make a Discord. You know, I subscribe to you after watching just one video, especially fond of your complex chord progressions and modulations. Also your plugins, lol. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Yeah, the plugins, like I think I've been getting a lot of questions about those. I'm glad you like them. I also want to emphasize, and I don't mean that in a way of like I get the most out of them or I am so good with them or whatever. That's not what I mean. But what I want to emphasize is you can do a lot of great stuff with a lot of different plugins, and it's not about the tools you use. That being said, I do really love CSS, and it did change my composing. But I still stand by the fact that I try to apply concepts that I think can be used with any sample library. Yeah, and I don't mean that to brag in any way. And then here I want some low stuff. Was it? Oh yeah, that's the one. That last note was... I do like this because it kind of leaves us hanging. Maybe that's... I have been keep going back to this A, which is very, very much home. And this B flat is screaming to go down to A. But maybe it needs to go back to some sort of different kind of A. And then we can keep it going. It's not as fixed like, oh, because this resolution is so strong. And in this ambient stuff, having such a strong resolution will always be noticeable in a way. You tried purging the samples and RAM uses it so much better. Thanks. You're very welcome. I'm glad it helped. Could you make how to use CSS video? It's a stretch. I know it's too much to ask, but since it's pretty popular, I think others would also find it useful. I can definitely consider that. It's also, I think some of the things, I talked about this in my latest video, is also, for example, when you use shorts, I don't have any shorts loaded because why would I need shorts in this queue? It has a lot to do with using the right expression maps as well. So you can use, for example, if we would do that, let's very quickly write something that's very dumb. There we go. Beautiful piece of music. This all has the same length. But we want some dynamics. Dun, 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 dun. Wait. Already helps. Maybe this one wants to be... Oh, it's on the wrong tempo, of course. I want to do like da 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 da. Or maybe this last one wants... What I mean is... sorry, I should explain that before I did this. Is making use of the different types of shorts in your expression map. So you have spiccato. And using a combination of these. So if I would make this first one with the accent just a little bit longer. No, this one sounds very weird. But that already helps to add life into a basic string of sonata, for example. If you just, instead of just, it could be ta da 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 da. Using things like that with CSS, using the 4 shorts that you have available already does so much. So that's one thing. But I will think about making a longer video about CSS. But I also kind of want to avoid making my channel like a sample library review channel. Or how to use this in this sample library. So I might make it more into a... make the most out of your sample libraries with, yeah, but then it's still sample libraries. Orchestration with different types of shorts, for example, if it would be a video like this. So I have to think about it, how I would want to approach a video like that. But in live streams, I can go into more depth on things like that. Wait, I was working on the ending. So yeah, the predicament is what we do here. This, yeah, I wanted to get this. So it's here, right? Yeah, here. A question mark. Oh, I'm still on the shorts. So we have the B flat. Then the harp is doing. So we have this very eerie major minor. Maybe. I don't hate that. I do not hate that. Because it's still A, but now it's kind of leaning into this chord, so it's the 7th in the bass. Maybe that's something to try out. So we take the organ and we go C sharp, A, E, G. Because it does give us, in a way, the resolution. But maybe here it should then be... We just omit the A entirely. So this becomes a G. Oh. This is weird. This is weird now. Yeah. But then in the harmonics... That gives me something to work with. All right, one last question. Are you with the idea of using the full ensemble patch, or would you rather write for the violin section first and then violas, cello, basses? I usually write sections split out. However, when I want some more volume, for example, I mean, no, not just volume, not like loudness, but heaviness or thickness or my knowledge of the English language is failing me. As in, I want to have it. It's getting late here as well. I need to stop in a minute. I want to give them more body. That's what I'm trying to say. So especially if I have like longer chords, just stationary chords, and I want to give them a bit more body, then I often layer them with the ensemble patch. Especially when I have, for example, muted chords or chords where I have them unmuted in the sections, and then I put the Sordino longs underneath, very soft, just to give them a bit more body. Grandness, yeah, in a way, like it's it helps to give it some more weight. All right, I think given how my knowledge, what I just mentioned, my knowledge of the English language is failing me, I think I'm gonna call it quits for tonight. I did really enjoy this. Okay, let's listen back to it one more time. We're gonna listen to it with the piano layer turned on and with the disclaimer that this is very much still a work in progress. I have been trying a lot of things out, throwing spaghetti at the wall. And when I get back to this sometime next week, we'll see what sticks and what gets thrown out. Let's just listen to it one more time. One more question. Thanks so much, Tom. You're unbelievably talented. Thank you very much for your kind words. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's listen back to it one more time and then say our goodbyes. This is including the intro, by the way. So we know how it ties together. All right, though, man, that ending was super jarring. Okay, I don't like that. I am gonna, yep. I did not like that, the ending. The rest, I am actually quite content with. I hope you also like that. Thanks so much. This was great. Thanks, John, for being here, and also for everyone who was active in the chat. Last question this time for real. No, it's okay. You can ask anything you want. The Bells plugins. What's the name? Wait. I need to make a note to self. Also here, I keep hearing some. I want some breathy, windy synth there, which I have. Is it this one? Something like this. What if we just try this out real quick? Okay. For now, it's there. When we come back to it, I'll see what I do with it. The question was the Bells plugin. That is Omnisphere. And it's a preset called Bending Indonesia that I probably tweaked a little bit. But there you go, Omnisphere. Does the chord track at the top transpose all the tracks of MIDI when you change the chords, like the old Logic chord track back in the day? This is I'm not using the chord track. I'm just using a marker track and writing down some chords. I'm not sure if the chord track in QA functions like that what you mentioned, because I hardly ever use it. It might though, in my experience, but I'm not sure. Thanks, Tom. Good stuff. Thanks, Pekka. I have read your message, Pekka, by the way. Sorry for not getting back to you earlier. It's on the list. I think that was it for now. Wait, let me save my project real quick. Oh, wait, is my face in here? No, it's not. Now it is. Hey, there we go. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Thanks, Rick. We'll definitely check out Halve. You can wishlist Halve on Steam. There's links below. There is a link for Steam for Halve. The wishlist is Halve's Discord. Do join us there as well. This is also where we post other devlog updates, which we will be pushing quite more in the coming weeks. Also from Aridas, who is one of the main devs, and he also has his own YouTube channel. And I think he has a couple of devlogs already, and he also said he will be making more. So I will hold him accountable for that. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Pekka. Thanks, Martin. This was great. Thanks all for being here, for whoever has been here for however long. This was a lot of fun. I am just very tired. I've had an exhausting week, but thank you all for joining me. And that's it. I'm very grateful for you being here, and I'll be really enjoyed watching. Glad to hear that. Thanks. I will be back next week. I want to make another video, which will be another Halve devlog about Wise. If it turns out that I don't have time to do so this week, then I will probably live stream again next week. Or maybe I'll live stream anyway and make a video. We'll have to see what happens. For now, I wish you a very happy Easter weekend. If you're spending time with friends, family, loved ones, I hope you enjoy. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for being here, and ciao. Have a good evening.